What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video, and it looked like Kevin Stefanski is in some serious, serious hot water after pretty much confirming Shedeur Sanders and other quarterbacks could be on the chopping block.
Browns are making their apparent quarterback news this week. I believe Kevin Stefanski said that after the preseason contest with the Browns. Boy, I wished Shedeur was healthy so we could see how he's following up. You know,
that
man.
Yeah, we talked about that all last week, especially with the Miz here. Obviously, a huge Browns fan. Just a bummer that the momentum from week one got kind of derailed.
I still don't think, no matter yet, Shedeur, again, that game went down just before I left for my week off. He looked really, really smooth and good.
The Cleveland Browns just pulled off the unthinkable, firing Kevin Stefanski in record time, and it all circles back to Shedeur Sanders. After benching the rookie like a bad fantasy pick, Stefanski doubled down with comments so outrageous they ignited fan outrage, had players cracking up, and left owners scrambling for damage control. Instead of looking like a steady NFL coach, he ended up as the punchline of his own blooper reel.
Now, those of you guys who thought that the Cleveland Browns was going to go into this offseason with all these quarterbacks, I'm here to tell you you're wrong. Kevin Stefanski just wrapped up an interview earlier today, kind of detailing his method and pretty much what these next couple weeks may be. Now, he stated verbatim, he can't keep everybody. Now, we know Dillon Gabriel went out there and did what he did yesterday, and to me, Shedeur Sanders looked 20 to 30 times better than this young man.
Kevin Stefanski has somehow mastered the Cleveland coaching paradox. Take a team full of talent and momentum, crush it into dust, and then act surprised at the fallout. The Browns were riding high, yet Stefanski decided to bench Shedeur Sanders in favor of Dillon Gabriel, leaving fans stunned and screaming, "Are you kidding me?" If this were a video game, that lineup alone would have had fans rage-quitting instantly.
Man, we got to talk about this quarterback situation that's going on in Cleveland. And Kevin Stefanski had an interview today with Cleveland Browns Associated Press, and he said some very interesting things at his press conference. And a lot of people think that he's sabotaging Shedeur Sanders to big up.
Cleveland fans are no strangers to heartbreak. Bad drafts, embarrassing records, and quarterbacks vanishing faster than your Uber when you need it. But benching Shedeur Sanders like he's a forgotten preseason experiment? That's not just pain, that's sabotage. Now, the fans are doing what they do best, calling for Stefanski's head. He isn't officially fired yet, but in Cleveland, he's already getting fired daily across living rooms, bars, and Twitter feeds.
And because of that, I believe the Cleveland Browns said we got to slow some of this down, and we look foolish right now. One thing that you're not going to do is make us look foolish. So let's slow this down. Say he's injured, he can't play in the next game, because everybody was saying if he does it in back-to-back games, now we got to look at this situation differently.
Shedeur Sanders wasn't just good, he was electric. Calm under pressure, accurate, and radiating natural leadership. He looked every bit like the Browns' future. Then there's Dillon Gabriel, who seemed more like a contestant in a blooper reel than an NFL quarterback. The contrast wasn't subtle, it was neon bright. One looked like a star in the making. The other looked like he accidentally wandered onto the field thinking it was open gym day.
About Shedeur, I think the plan is to destroy his stock. Not drafting him would have been too direct. Draft him to a crowded QB squad. Don't give him any reps. Think of a reason to not start him. Keep him on the bench or cut him. The last thing teams want is for him to shine and make them look stupid for passing on him. The Browns owner clearly separated him.
But Stefanski, in his infinite Cleveland wisdom, thought it was the perfect time to bench Shedeur Sanders. Why? Who knows? Maybe he expected Dillon Gabriel to magically turn into Patrick Mahomes overnight. Instead, Gabriel looked like the guy who makes your offense punt before fans finish their hot dogs. Fans aren't having it. You don't sit a player who brings energy, momentum, and hope. It's like trading a brand new sports car for a rusty minivan. Sanders played like a starter, carried himself like a starter, and outperformed half the league's quarterbacks who get paid way more. Then he gets injured, and Stefanski acts like that erases everything he's done? Not a chance. Fans know Sanders earned his spot and won't let anyone forget it.
Now, I am here to tell you guys this. Word on the street is that Shedeur possibly could be getting traded. I don't know 100%. That's just what I've been hearing from behind the scenes. But you hear a lot of things, man. So much stuff goes on with this Browns organization. They just unpredictable, I would say that.
But Stefanski is treating Shedeur Sanders like he's disposable. And Cleveland fans don't play that game. You disrespect a quarterback they've already embraced, and they'll make it heard. In Cleveland, boos aren't quiet. They demand heads on a platter. Right now, the hottest trending fantasy isn't a Super Bowl win. It's firing Kevin Stefanski. His big gamble on Dillon Gabriel backfired spectacularly. Gabriel gave fans nothing to believe in, while Sanders, the obvious choice, suddenly became the hero everyone's chanting for. And those chants? They're as much against Stefanski as they are for Sanders. Fans see stubborn arrogance, not strategy. And in a city that's endured enough losing seasons, arrogance is the one thing Cleveland cannot stand.
And today I gotta keep it all the way real about Cleveland Browns and basically how they've been doing Shedeur Sanders. Now, I don't care how they try to spin it in the media. I don't care what Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski is trying to tell you guys with a smile on camera. But Dillon Gabriel was already told about his position on the team. And not only that, Dillon Gabriel was already told about Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders' injury should have been a speed bump, not a roadblock. Instead of protecting his spot until he returned, Stefanski shoved him to the sidelines like an unpaid intern. Proven quarterbacks come back from injuries all the time. You don't erase what they've earned. Now Cleveland is boiling. This isn't a week-long outrage. Once this fan base decides you're the problem, your time is already borrowed. These are the fans who survived the Johnny Manziel era, endured winless seasons, and watched talent wasted by clueless coaching. Stefanski's disrespect towards Sanders may have finally pushed them over the edge.
And kind of get a hindsight in how he's feeling and his way of thinking about going about all this, man. Let's
for a lift and a run and really get ready for this week. We'll treat this week as a regular season schedule. We'll give the guys a normal game plan as you would, getting ready for the game on Saturday. We'll treat each day like we would. Now we will do more competitive periods than we would.
The comedy of it is unreal. You've got Shedeur Sanders ready to go, a player who brings hope, confidence, and momentum. And Stefanski chooses Dillon Gabriel, who looks allergic to throwing touchdowns. It's like passing up a steak dinner for soggy cafeteria pizza. Stefanski thinks it's a smart move, but in reality, he's handing fans the perfect petition to fire him. Every bad Gabriel pass fuels chants for Stefanski's head. Every loss piles up like evidence in a courtroom. The Browns finally had progress. Sanders brought the spark, and Stefanski stomped on it, handing the keys to Gabriel like it was a master plan. Spoiler, it's a disaster. And the fans know exactly who's to blame: Kevin Stefanski.
Why else would Dillon Gabriel reference the entertainer comment? Because most guys on the team already had the same sentiments that they echoed about Shedeur Sanders. But let's carry on with it. The truth is, the team already told Dillon everything you hear that I've been telling you guys months in advance, way before the draft. Like straight up, they told him that Shedeur will not move ahead of him on the Cleveland Browns roster depth chart.
If Stefanski doesn't fix this and put Shedeur Sanders back as the starter, he's finished. Not just losing a few games finished, but out of a job, escorted from Cleveland, replaced by anyone with the sense to play the best quarterback. Sanders is the kind of talent that can change a franchise. Gabriel is the kind that makes fans change the channel. Stefanski isn't just on the hot seat. He's sitting on a bonfire lit by a furious fan base that won't put it out until he does the obvious. He took a fan base cautiously optimistic about Sanders and plunged them back into despair. trading a golden lottery ticket for expired coupons.
And people were like, why do you say he's a circus? He's a good player. I didn't say he's not a good player. I didn't say he's a bad player. I said your starting quarterback has to be the guy. The cameras, the lights, the action, the locker room, everybody wants that guy in the locker room with the mouthpiece in, lining up on Sundays. And if you don't, and you got a guy like Shedeur Sanders, who's in the backup position, 4th on the depth chart, and they're like, we're here to see Shedeur Sanders. Right? The media's in the locker room bypassing all the quarterbacks. They walk right past Kenny Pickett, didn't even know he was even in there. Right? Walk right past Dylan Gabriel, probably didn't even see him, little. Sees Joe Flacco, goes, holy shit, Joe Flacco looks like he should be in the NBA. And then they get ready to, there's Shedeur.
What kills Browns fans most is that Sanders earned it. He wasn't handed anything. He made the plays, took the hits, and proved he belonged. Even after his injury, the conversation should have been when he comes back, not if. Instead, Stefanski acted like the injury erased all of it, while Dylan Gabriel wandered the field like a quarterback in witness protection. Fans already know what's coming, booing before the snap because the results are predictable. Stefanski keeps trotting Gabriel out there as if we're all blind. That's not coaching, it's delusion. And in Cleveland, delusion doesn't last long. You can't sell trust the process when the process looks like a failed science experiment.
The Cleveland Browns are trying to sell a BS story that Shedeur Sanders is injured and therefore unable to play in the next game, the next preseason game, after he had that outbreak or that breaking out party where everybody was like, see, Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback. He looked like a first-round pick out there in the last game, and the hype on the internet went crazy.
Fans are already doing the math, checking the schedule, scanning the standings, and asking one question: how many more games will we let Stefanski ruin? Right now, the answer is 0. All past playoff wins and occasional smart calls are irrelevant. What matters is he's gambling with the franchise's future, and fans won't forgive that. National media is piling on because Stefanski can't see the talent in front of him. It's tragic comedy, and he's the star. The locker room notices too. Players see Sanders working, leading, and making plays, while Gabriel struggles to complete even short passes. When the team loses faith in their coach, that's when you know the clock is ticking.
About that. A rookie quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, already locked in ahead of Shedeur Sanders before Shedeur even had a chance to prove himself. That's collusion. You can't admit that, so you have to dilute the situation to not make it seem as visible that we all can already see and tell.
Shedeur Sanders' injury should have been handled with patience and respect. Instead, Stefanski treated it like a demotion slip, straining the player-coach relationship. Sanders must be wondering what else he needs to do: play through pain, throw for 500 yards, walk on water. Because nothing seems to matter if Stefanski won't admit his mistake. Ironically, Stefanski may be sealing his own fate by overthinking safety, sticking with Gabriel to avoid risk. That decision blew up in his face. If he'd backed Sanders, even through injury, fans would be on his side. Now, everyone's sharpening their pitchforks.
Very interesting things that are going on with this quarterback situation in Cleveland. Now, we all know Shedeur Sanders made his preseason debut against the Carolina Panthers, where Shedeur Sanders flat out balled, threw 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 19 yards on the ground. He didn't turn the ball over at all. And he led the Cleveland Browns in 3 quarters to a win over the Carolina Panthers. Now, Kevin Stefanski really didn't give him too much praise on his performance.
You can feel the mood in Cleveland shifting. The honeymoon is over, patience is gone, and tolerance for Stefanski's experiments has hit rock bottom. Every bad decision piles up, and benching Sanders for Gabriel is one that can't be undone. Once you lose the fans, the narrative writes itself. Kevin Stefanski, the coach who disrespected Shedeur Sanders and paid the price. If he doesn't wake up soon, he won't just be remembered for sitting Sanders. He'll be remembered as the coach who got himself fired by choosing Dylan Gabriel.